Dr. Mindy here. In this video, we're going to talk about activities that stimulate autophagy, how we can use autophagy to clean up our hormones, to balance our hormones out. Okay, so there are 5 activities that will stimulate autophagy, and some of these activities you're doing, but it's how you do them that will get the autophagy effect. The reason I love fasting is because fasting is the best, the absolute best tool to stimulate autophagy. And autophagy is your body's a way of cleaning up the components, the parts that control hormones. So when we're looking at cleaning the hypothalamus up, when we're looking at balancing the pituitary, the ovaries, and we want to keep, and the adrenal glands, we want to keep that communication strong, we have this innate self-healing within us called autophagy that when we fast, when we eat certain foods, and when we do certain activities, we can really get these cells working at their best. So there are 5 activities that I want to talk about. First one is called exercise. Hopefully you all know that, and it's movement, but it's not just any kind of movement. All exercise has an ability to enhance autophagy, but the one that's going to give you the most autophagy is called HIIT training. And the reason it does this is go back and watch that video that I talked about 2 videos ago. One of the ways we know that autophagy gets triggered is when a hormetic stress comes in. So with HIIT training, what's happening is we're getting our heart rate up and down, and if you do it right, it's high intensity training, that you should be out of breath. We do this every Saturday morning in my Reset Academy, so if it's very unusual for you, and you don't know what I'm talking about, come join me in my academy, because I teach how we can use HIIT training to improve our autophagy pathways in our cells to balance our hormones. But you need that up and down. You need to have the heart rate go up, the breath, you gotta be out of breath to get autophagy stimulated in the cells. So that's number 1. Number 2, fasting. I had to put it in there, but here's what I want you to know is that it's the fasting variation that matters. So if you're like a 1 meal a day person and you're like, oh, I'm fasting, I only have 1 meal a day, and that's comfortable. If fasting has gotten comfortable for you, there's less of an autophagy effect. So when we vary our fasts, sometimes doing shorter fasts, sometimes doing longer fasts, moving in and out of these different fasts and pushing our fasting window, now we're stimulating more autophagy. In Fast Like a Girl, I have 6 different levels of fasting that I teach you. Autophagy is the 2nd level. And I show in the book how this pertains to all of our hormones. But what I really want for this video for you to understand is it's not just the art of going 15 hours or 17 hours without food. It's varying your fast and pushing your fast to some deeper levels to get a greater autophagy effect. Because I think you'll see that these longer fasts are going to get you into that deeper autophagy ratio. So that's number 2. Okay, ready? Number 3. It's not really an activity, but I had to put it in there, and that is the presence of ketones. So the reason that this is really important is that we've talked about when ketones go up, GABA goes up. And GABA is that neurotransmitter that calms you. We've also talked about how you can get ketones and still be in a state of autophagy. What we haven't talked about is that ketones, the presence of ketones, actually deepens your autophagy experience with your cells. It'll actually initiate more autophagy in the cells the more ketones come on the scene. Now let me explain this in like what you may have already experienced. So you go into a fast, you have your cup of coffee, your MCT oil, and you're 17 hours into a fast, you've got maybe ketones of like 1.4, and you're really excited about that high level ketones. We know now you've done the right fasting length for autophagy. You have a good amount of ketones that are helping you enhance autophagy. You did coffee with MCT oil to go into even more autophagy. Now, when you break that fast, if you keep those ketones going up, you will continue to get more autophagy. So this means we've got to lean into more fat. We got to keep the carbs down. And if you want ketones matched with autophagy, those two together, then you're going to want to keep protein under 20 grams. Now, those of you that watched my video where I talked about how you can use protein cycling to lose weight, you might be confused right now. I want you to remember that these are all tools in a toolbox. So we want to be able to pull each tool out. And if you're wanting autophagy, the more ketones you get, then the more autophagy you get. The minute you eat protein, more than 20 grams of protein, now you kill autophagy, but you could keep ketones going. So there's a real nuance there. So go back and listen to that again, because it really is interesting how the two ride together, but you sort of peel autophagy off when you up that protein too high. Okay, so that's number 3. Number 4, this one's awesome. Sleep. Sleeping. When you sleep, you stimulate autophagy. You were born to repair when you sleep, but specifically 2 parts of sleep that are gonna really enhance your autophagy process in your cells. One is deep sleep. You wanna be getting at least an hour of deep sleep every night. So if you have an Oura Ring, if you have a Whoop, those kind of things can really, really help to understand what your deep sleep is. You want at least an hour. More than 2 hours is amazing. I remember once when I interviewed Dave Asprey on my Resetter podcast, he got on and he was so excited because he had nailed 3 hours of deep sleep. Haven't been able to do that, but if you get 3 hours of deep sleep like Dave, you can really amp up your autophagy. The other thing we know about sleep and stimulating autophagy is when we start to time it with our circadian rhythm that has to do with our light day cycles. So the reason that this is important is that when you're getting up with the sunrise, you're getting outside in the middle of the day without sunglasses on, with your eyes being able to see the direct sunlight, and then you're getting sunset light where it's red. That's called circadian rhythm, and linking your day's activity to circadian rhythm. Now that is going to get you more autophagy when you sleep than if you're like going to bed at midnight and waking up at 9 and you're off the normal daylight cycles. So it's not just deep sleep, but it's making sure you're timing your sleep with the rhythm of the light and the actual hours of the day. Okay, you know how when you're trying to get in and out of fat burner, sugar burner, and sometimes you struggle? It might be that you have a metabolic blocker that's at play here. Want to know what those blockers are? Click on the link below and I'll take you straight to a giveaway and you can have my list of metabolic blockers. Okay, last one, number 5, is hot cold. So those of you that love to go into cold plunges, amazing. You're gonna stimulate autophagy. If you go into a sauna and then into a cold plunge, even better, even more autophagy. That is one of the greatest ways to stimulate autophagy outside of fasting so that you can really enhance that process within your cells. But what I want you to know about autophagy is it's you healing you. And when we're using these tools, many of the ones that I taught you today, but we're using them with intention. When you're sleeping with intention, when you're waking up in the morning to link your circadian rhythm with intention, when you're fasting a certain length with intention, when you're drinking coffee and MCT oil in your fasting window with intention, when you're exercising with intention, all of that can drive autophagy. But if I just did a video and I was like, exercise, eat, fast, sleep, and I just gave you the basics, it doesn't have the same autophagy power as when you understand the nuance. And as always, do not give up on yourself, because shoot, autophagy, oh my gosh, if there's anything that can heal you, it's your own cellular healing capabilities like autophagy. So flippin' cool. Okay, are you fasting and you're still not losing weight? Check out this video, because you might be missing a key part of your fasting experience that's gonna unlock weight loss. So if you think about it, all the humans that emerged out of that time have the gene that allows us to go without food. And that gene, they believe, is in all of us today.